Hi, I'm Brittany Butler. I'm 27 years old, and Sydney to the Max has earned a place in my heart as one of my favorite Disney Channel shows. One of the reasons why I love Sydney to the Max is how strongly I relate to it, even as a 27-year-old woman. In so many ways, it feels like the show was literally made for me. When I watch it, I see my 12-year-old self represented in more ways than one. Sydney is a biracial, white and black girl being raised by her single white father and grandmother, and I too am a biracial woman who was raised by my single white mother and grandparents. Sydney is very into music. She sings and plays guitar and bass and writes songs, and I am also a musician. I've been singing my entire life, and I taught myself to play guitar when I was about 11 years old, so very close to her age. On top of all of this, the casting of Ruth Rigi in particular really struck a chord with me because she looks so much like me when I was that age. It is so creepy sometimes. When I watch the show, I really feel like I am watching my 12-year-old self on the screen. And there's something really powerful about that when it comes to representation. I didn't really understand the true power of representation until I watched Sydney to the Max. Seeing an upbringing very similar to my own on the Disney Channel is really emotional for me, even if it is many years past my childhood. When it was revealed that Sydney is half black through a very emotional flashback episode that deals with the loss of a parent, it really made my heart so full because I never saw a mixed girl that looked like me playing a mixed girl, especially on the Disney Channel. Sydney and I are what I call a different brand of mixed or biracial. We don't obviously look black and white. We look like we could be a number of different ethnicities. So to me, that was an interesting decision by the casting department. Usually you'll see more obviously mixed race looking actors cast in these roles. So people with the big curly hair and light eyes and, you know, etc., etc. But we kind of look plain in comparison. We just sort of blend in. So it's refreshing to see our brand represented like that. As a mixed person watching the show, I could tell that Sydney was mixed right away, and I didn't know if Disney was going to address it or acknowledge it at all, but the fact that they did is so great. And I love that it's not a big plot point that Sydney is half black. You know, we haven't gotten a big storyline about that, which, I mean, would be cool if they ever decide to do something like that in the future, but for right now, it just is, and I love that. I feel like that's the way it should be done. It's just normalizing the fact that, hey, you know, you can be mixed and you can be raised by your white family and you can look a little different from them, but that's cool, that's normal, that's life. I just can't help but imagine what my childhood or tweenhood might have been like if Sydney to the Max was on my TV screen. All I know is that it would have felt so cool to see, you know, a girl who looks so much like myself and who I have so much in common with be the star of a Disney Channel show. Because growing up watching Disney Channel, my idol was Lizzie McGuire and Hilary Duff, and obviously I don't look very much like her, but I still looked up to her so much and wanted to be her so bad. I just thought she was the coolest, and I just know that if I had someone like Sydney to watch, it would have been the coolest thing ever. So when I watch the show now, it makes me want to shed a tear for my tween self and for all the other young little mixed girls out there who might be currently in the same boat I was all those years ago. It's just a really, really cool thing. And if all of that wasn't enough, I am a child of the 90s, so I absolutely love all of the flashbacks to Max's childhood. They are so much fun for me. It's a blast, from the fashion to all the little references here and there to constantly poking fun at what technology was like back then. It's just all so good. I love Leo. He is hysterical. They give this kid the funniest lines. It's wonderful. Definitely one of my favorite parts of the show. And I love that this show can appeal to both boys and girls. Gender-neutral programming is so important, and it's just really cool how each episode has a pretty evenly split Sydney storyline and young Max storyline. It's really effective when the plots are connected in some way too. It's great whenever they really highlight the similarities and differences between the way Max grew up and the way Sydney is currently growing up. I don't know, the show is just really fun and it's such a cute concept. I like the way that the 90s angle sort of capitalizes on that 90s nostalgia craze in a way that kids can enjoy without needing to know anything about the 90s, and that parents or adults like myself who might be tuning in for whatever reason can also get something out of it and relate and be able to look back fondly at that time and sort of get a kick out of it. Even the theme song is a fun throwback to the 90s with a very third-eyed blind, semi-charmed life sort of vibe going on. It's awesome. You hardly ever see a kids sitcom with a single father, so that's a really refreshing thing about this show as well. And Judy is a super awesome grandmother whose life is sort of just starting post-retirement, which sends a really positive message about getting older. So yeah, I think Sydney to the Max is just a really unique and special show on the Disney Channel right now. They've tackled some really bold and interesting topics so far too, so I'm interested to see what else they do in the future. And yeah, I've just really been enjoying the show, so I thought I would contribute to this. Thanks.